Hello and welcome back to How to Connect with Humans. This is series 3 and this is episode 8. Hello Wayne, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm very good.
Good.
I'm very excited.
Are you?
Yes.
You look really excited.
I'm very excited because we have family. We have family today to talk to. We have a brother. We have somebody we absolutely love that is like, just like do like that, put it in your heart. And
Anyway, stop.
Today we have Omar Wilson, and he's going to talk about a new generation, a new voice, because he's one of the young voices around here. Well, not too far from you are young as well, you know.
I was wondering what you were going to say then.
I'm slightly a tiny bit more Asian than you guys, but but I think we're going to find a lot of things that he's going to share that we have heard him say before, and a lot of things that probably we never heard of. We absolutely love you, respect you. We are in awe of having you here. Thank you so much. So welcome. How are you?
I am great. Hey guys, hello everybody. Claire and Paul, I need you lot making me feel like I need to wrap up in my blanket, get on the sofa, man. I love you lot settings all the time. It's just like sofa, just chilling. I need that in my life. I need that. Yeah, I'm great. I thought I would just open it up by telling you guys my 2 favorite stories of all time. And then I'll tell you a little bit about me. And the first story, obviously, it's got to be the wheelbarrow story. I hope you lot guys have heard it before, but if you haven't, I'll go. So there's a guy at work and he's come to the end of the day and he's construction just to set the settings. And he sees some sawdust and he puts it all in a box. He's like, I'll use that at home, puts it in a little box. And he puts this box on a wheelbarrow and he's wheeling out the wheelbarrow. And the security goes, stop. What's in that box? And he said, it's just sawdust. And he said, let me see. So he opened the box and he showed him. He said, oh, sawdust. And he goes, what are you going to do with this? I'm going to use it. All right. So he lets him go. So the guy does this the next day, the next day, the next day. Finally, the security guard says, stop, mate. I have a suspicion you're stealing something. And he goes, I ain't. And he goes, you know what? Tell me what you're stealing and I promise I won't say nothing. And the guy said, promise? And he said, promise. And he goes, all right, I'm stealing wheelbarrows. And the moral of that story is, if you focus on the box too much, you miss the bigger picture. Because the guy's leaving work every day with a wheelbarrow and he ain't coming back with one. But you're focused on the little box in the wheelbarrow, so you don't see the whole picture. And that every time I tell the story, it hits me. And the second story is, there was a guy, right? And he had a conversation with God, and God, he said, God, send me a sign. And God said, I'll send you a sign. And he said, all right, sweet. So flood was coming in town and he knew it, and a car came by and said, listen, jump in, flood's coming in town, let's go. He said, nope, I'm waiting for God. I said, all right, then car's gone. So the flood's come in now and he's moved upstairs. And a boat's come, he's seen it and said, come on, let's go. And he said, nope, I'm waiting for God. Flood's coming more now and he's on the roof. And a helicopter comes and says, yeah, well, let's go. He says, nope, I'm waiting for God. Long story short, tide comes in, he dies, right? He goes to heaven and he says, God, what happened? I thought you was going to send me a sign. God said, I did. I sent 3. I sent the car, the boat, and the helicopter. You didn't take any. And the moral of that story is, like, things will never come in the shape that you think they are. You know? It's like, I didn't know I had to go to prison to be here talking to you guys, if that makes sense. I didn't know. Prison looked like shit to me. It looked crazy. But yet I got the most beautiful things out of it. I never wanted to go there. Never wanted to. Always heard bad things about it and guys trying to make it cool. But I never wanted to go there. But going there, I got the most beautiful things out of it. So the kind of moral of the story is really is just do what makes you feel happy. Don't just dismiss something because it doesn't look how you want it to look, because you never know what comes from it. And why those stories kind of connect for me is because I always focused on the box in life. I always just focused on the box, and I always missed the bigger picture. Always missed it. I say that because I used to sell drugs for a long time, a very long time. And I was doing it for a long time where I got complacent with it. I thought, yeah, but the reason why I started it, I would say, is because I thought, all right, then the household is not too great. My mum's doing hard because she's got three of us, me, my sister, my brother, so she's working hard. And I thought, yeah, let me man up and try and get some money in the house. And that thought kind of lasted for 2 days, if that made sense, because it's like I got there and I got sucked in straight away to everything, the lifestyle, to this, to that. And it's like a facade I believed in. I believed in this was the only way to help. And that was the box, if you know what I mean. I didn't see the wheelbarrow. I didn't see that, okay, you have a commodity, you're very good at selling it. You can move this in a lot of other departments. Handbags, hats, t-shirts, you name it. Everything's a commodity. Toothbrushes, glasses, there's a lot of glasses here, headphones. So the same way I was selling drugs, I could have used those skills to sell anything else. But at that time, I never knew that. I never knew that. I always thought inside the box. I always looked at the box. I was told that like you have to pass school, get good education, get good grades in order to be successful. That I also saw that as the box. I was looking at the box. I was given something and I said, okay, that's the box. And if I don't land in it, then I'm messed for life. And that's not true. I see now that I see the wheelbarrow. I see that, wow, wait. Success is kind of a thing of the mind, if that makes sense. So if you start to say, yeah, I've succeeded because I've done this, I've done that, you could never take that away from a person if that was their achievements. But to say that because I didn't reach your achievements that I haven't got success, I can't sit with that anymore. I used to sit with that, like, because I haven't achieved what you've achieved, I'm below that, or I need to achieve that, and I just see it's a state of mind. So it's like, where I live right now, I moved to a better house because the house I was living at before was moldy, and the area was really nice. I had nice neighbors, and I had an elderly neighbor, Jackie, who used to always look after her. I used to go shop for her during this COVID times. I used to go shop for her, and I bought her a little dartboard because she was bored indoors, and do you know what I mean? Just little things. And that's why I didn't really want to move out of that place, but it was unsafe for my kids and my wife, so we moved out. And I moved to Forest Gate, which is a stone's throw from where I used to sell drugs, basically. And I feel like I'm just right back in the mix without being in the mix. Because daily now I see people, they sell drugs on my road. I look out my window to have a cigarette, I'm seeing drugs being sold. And imagine the first day I moved in this house, right? It was less than a week, right? Smoking a cigarette out the window. And I can hear like shouting. I can hear a little shouting like, ah, ah. And it did sound like a kid, but I didn't know. Anyway, a girl walks past, right? And she looked at me, she said, oh, down the alleyway, it's a kid. And I don't know what came over me, but instantly I felt like she selected me. So I was like, oh, all right. And I went downstairs. My missus like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I don't really like to alarm her. So I said, no, coming back, one sec. Went down the alley, and this older guy, you can tell he's been drinking, is beating up this other guy. So I just separated it. I made him put his jacket on, told him leave, told the other one, fixed him up a little bit. And the old guy he kept shouting out, oh, he's selling drugs in the park. My kids go to the park and da-da-da-da-da-da. And it just got me thinking, man, just everyone's kind of caught up in their own reality. And without knowing how they create that, you'll just be caught up in yours. And of course, they're going to conflict. Of course. Of course. How can a whole reality not conflict with another whole reality? Do you know? Because there's only going to be so much similarities. And it's like, I kind of realized this where I live. I realized that there's so many different realities that I just accept them now, if that makes sense. Other than thinking, why do you think like that? Or why do you do this? I just accept the realities. So same way in the alleyway, how they both had their differences. I didn't choose sides, or I just separated the conflict. Even though a lot of people say, oh, was that the right thing to do? That was wrong. You could have been hurt. You did. And I know all these things, but at that present moment of time, for some reason, it felt like the right thing to do. So instead of overthink it like I normally would have done, I just did it. And it was right for me. It felt right here. So although I get people saying that was silly and my missus saying, oh, that's stupid and this, that actually doesn't bother me anymore, because I know it was right for here and I felt right here. So I live with that. I say this because I got a friend, right, and he's turning 40 next year, and his mum passed away and he's having problems with the housing and stuff. And every time we have a little conversation, I can feel his pain, if that makes sense. Because right now, because of COVID, he can't get a job, so he's back to hustling. And he feels there's no options. I know what that was like. You know, I know what that was like once. But now I also see that because he's 40 and I'm 27, he is blocked off all avenues for anything I could ever say, or ever, because I know I could never impact someone or change someone's views, and I accept that. But I know off of what I said, you might be able to pick something and go through it in your own time and open a door for yourself. So it's like, I actually settled with that, because he says a lot of stuff. He says a lot of stuff. One time I asked him, random, would you move to South Africa? He goes, no, why would I move to South Africa? I'm from here. I don't even speak that language. He was going mad, and I'm like, bro, chill. But I accept his thinking now, where before I would have been like, whoa, let me just stay away from you because you've got some aggressive. But I see that he allows his thoughts to be present at all times, if that makes sense. Instead of himself being present, his thoughts are always present. And I just wanted to open it out to anyone, any questions or if anybody has any things that they saw from young that they see different now. The reason why I say that is because my mum always told me things, and I'm like, and then in nowadays life, I'm like, wow. And then when I sit with it, it has a deeper meaning. And then it's like, that's kind of how I live my life now. But it's kind of like I knew these things from young. I was told these things, but I never explored them until now.
there something that you...
I think initially when you said that, when you asked about the question a second ago, it was, for me, it's my disability. It's the relationship I've got with my disability. Before I came across this understanding, it was, okay, I'm a disability. And then since this understanding, it's kind of, I'm not my disability, I'm me. My disability is just a part of me. And the relationship I have with it is just, it's completely different now. More recently, I had another insight of, and I didn't even realize it was an insight and it was an issue, but it was the fact that I carried a lot of guilt around about my disability, about having a disability. And I kind of saw that I didn't have to feel guilty anymore. And I think for me, that, I remember being in the car with you and seeing that, and I literally had tears in my eyes while I was driving. And it was just one of those things that kind of just hit me. And I think for like 3 or 4 days afterwards, I was still in a bit of a wobble, weren't I? And because it's like everything you believed is completely gone. It's just not, it's not real anymore. And it's just, it's such an amazing, freeing feeling just to feel that, like, on afterwards when everything's settled. It's, yeah.
What's your box of dust?
Yeah.
Because I remember Janet Riney asking you something along, so if you're not your disability, who are you? And that basically just throws the box of dust and leaves you to see what else is around, sort of thing.
But even then, after that session, I was like, I don't want to do another session with her. I don't like her and all this. I got really, really kind of angry, in a sense of, what was she talking about? If I'm not my disability, who am I? What? Well, I am. Can't you see that? And again, that literally took me 3 or 4 days to kind of just calm down with it, sit with it, be with it. And now you just can't unsee it. It's like your story with the wheelbarrow. Once you know about that story, you can't not see it.
And I love what you were pointing out about sort of communication, which could take many forms, you know, for all of us. You can say, well, everybody listens to me apart from, say, my missus, or, you know, my partner, or well, you know, older people don't listen to me because they say I'm too young, or younger people don't listen to me because they say I'm too old, or, you know, we all can make up the so, you know, like, we can all have that, you know, oh, I have no problem about talking to everybody apart to my children, they don't listen to me, you know, like, it's like we all have our sort of blind spots or perceptions of and I like your story on where you're talking to somebody that's 40 and they may look like they don't want to, you know, you're like, you know, the box, well, just around there's more, and they go like, the box, no, but around, like, and you're like, around, and you're doing all whatever you can to point around, and they're like, box. So they have like box glasses, you know, that's all they can see, and we all do that. Now, what I find amazing is, you know, Jacqueline Hollow started this with her amazing big heart, and we can never, I think, thank her enough for going with Beyond Recovery to talk to you guys. And then you also had other women and some people that you got with a t-shirt that Say something so we can see the dance with the Beyond t-shirt. There you go. We need something. And Derrick is coming in. And so what I guess is you saw coming in people that weren't guys that look like you, were your age, spoke your lingo sort of thing. You know, it wasn't, you saw these people that were quite, I don't know how much resistance you have at the beginning, but how was it for you, you know, to see these people coming in, and you probably had a lot of thinking about, oh, well, it's easy for them to talk because they're whatever.
So I'm going to keep it raw with you lot, yeah? In prison, any outsider, if it's a woman, we're like, yo. And then if it's a guy, it's just kind of like, nah, new guys on the wing. And then courses, I've done a lot of courses in prison because I didn't want to be in my cell. And they were just repetitive things. Why shouldn't you take drugs? Because they're bad. Correct. Yay. That's it. So it's like, that's how all the courses went. That's bad. That's right. That's bad. Yay. That's it. So when I come to Beyond Recovery, I just expected the normal. Plus me, I'm very energetic. I was the class clown. I was making everyone laugh. I love to laugh. That's all we was doing all day. But when it came to Beyond Recovery, I heard the name. I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Mama J knows I hated it because my thinking got in the way. Like Beyond Recovery. It sounded like whoa. I am not beyond recovery. I'm pretty sure I can recover myself. Right? So we're in this room and you see these ladies and they're just smiling. And in a place like prison, I was the only guy I knew that was smiling like that. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm just like quirky like that. I'll just smile anyway. But when you see these ladies smiling, right, and they're not in the same position as us, they're going home tonight. So that's the only agenda everybody's got. These lot are smiling, happy because they're going home tonight. We're not going home tonight. We're going down there. And it was like, I actually give it to them because it was a hard barrier to break. But they did it with what I now consider the key, which is what's the word? Curiosity. They say curiosity killed the cat. Why did it kill the cat? Because the cat couldn't hold it down. It had to see what was there. It had to. Do you know what I mean? And that's exactly the curiosity she created. And it's as simple as right now. If I told everybody 2 and 2 is not 4. Every single person here is going to want to know how. How is 2 and 2 not 4? All my life, I knew 2 and 2 was 4. Everybody taught me that. So for you to tell me 2 and 2 is not 4, I want to know how. And it was as simple as that, basically. I'll tell you about the scenario. She had a little problem with her son where she just borrowed him money one time and he said he was going to pay her back and he didn't. And she told everybody this story. And everybody's like, what? Why didn't he? Why? Like, everybody's giving her advice. He should have paid you back. He should have he should have did. And she's like, no. Come away from that. Who made me angry in this situation? It's your son, isn't it? Your son, he didn't pay you. He should have paid you on time. You're his mum. We started building connections and reasons why. And she said, no. So everybody's silent now. What do you mean, no? She said, it was I'm the reason why I was angry. And off of that alone, even though it was a negative why, it was like, why? Tell us. How is it you? Like, you're so silly. Like, how is it you? Do you know what I mean? Like, this woman's silly. How is it you? But once we listened, and it's like, you listen and you hear a little familiarity, if that's the word, sorry. And instantly it feels like, oh, wait, wow. And you're curious. So you ask a question like, okay, so how is it me? And she explained, oh, so you want to know? Okay. And I felt like she was waiting for that curiosity, because as soon as someone's curious, all thinking goes out the window. All thinking goes, all judgment, all the barriers, what they look like, how they, all of that went out the window. And it's just give me information. I want to absorb information now. I want to know about what I've asked about. And over the 10 weeks, she continued to just put the curiosity on the table, and we just fed from that. And it's like, the things they said, man, they just didn't care about what, they didn't ask what I've done. They didn't ask why I was in there. I thought, oh, this is strange. This is strange. Everybody asks why you're in there. Then they said, you don't have to write anything down. I'm like, what? What kind of course you don't have to write anything down? And then the one that kind of just disturbed me, she said, you don't even have to understand. I said, here we go. She said, you don't have to understand. Just that feeling. As long as you get that feeling. And of course, before you know all this stuff, you're like, you might even say witchcraft. Like, what's this? Do you know what I mean? What is this? What am I here? Like, what am I doing? Like, but it's just like, I every time I think about that moment, I'm excited, because I still have the little feel. What if I didn't catch that? What if I let the barrier stay so solid that I said, you know what? I'm leaving this room. I don't even care about what these lot got to say. And sorry, excuse my French, I was a little shit, because it's like when I was meant to turn up to group, I didn't turn up to group. They used to come and chase me on the wing and catch me, and this guy's so like, yo, chilling, and come to group. And I'm like, oh, and then I'll go to group and then it'll be amazing. I'm like, oh, bloody hell. And then I just kept going back for groups, kept going back. I went to like, I used to sit in everybody else's group. I'd be like, oh, these ladies know me. Let me sit in that group. And I just sit in that group. And yeah, they just carried on. They just showed love to everybody in there, to be honest. Which kind of just, yeah, it just made everybody drop their barrier unwillingly as well.
I love that, because I mean, I don't know what Jacqueline's experience was in, her thinking, and all the beautiful people that are part of Beyond Recovery. Before, we have heard about some of that from you guys during this series, and what they thought before they were like going into that first class or that first time, or what they thought about you guys in that sense. And I'm sure they probably had a lot of thinking whether they were going to be heard, or you were going, you and the groups were going to listen to them, or how they were going to be perceived. But what it seems to me was for sure is that there was some certainty about, well, just go and share it. Eventually they'll hear something. It's not about me. It's not about me.
Do you know what it was? It's truth. It's like, for some reason I heard truth, so I couldn't deny it. And then I'm very hard-headed. I should say. And you could tell me something, I gotta test it. You could tell me that fire's gonna burn you. I say, what fire? What fire? And it does burn you. Then I will know. And I've always kind of been like, don't do that. I do it, break my arm. Oh, sorry. And I've always been like that. But it's crazy, because that was stripped away without me doing anything. And I still don't know if grounded brings grounded. I couldn't tell you that, but I see it does. Because if Mama J was nervous in that room, I couldn't tell. If anybody was nervous in that room, they definitely was, put it that way, they probably was. But I couldn't tell. And yeah, once they said something, I couldn't just follow it or understand it and say, yeah, that's that. I had to experiment with it. Do you know what I mean? And experiments in my head, experiments are always fun in my head. If you experiment with something, it's always fun. Like, oh, let me experiment 1 sugar, 2 sugars, 3 sugars. I don't like that. I like that. I like that. Do you know what I mean? So I always experiment with something. Do you know? So once I heard these things, these truths, I experimented with it. And the main one was, and it happens to a lot of prisoners, is when we're on the phone to loved ones or when we try to call home to loved ones and they don't pick up on that 2, 3 beeps. Do you know what I mean? It goes to 4, then to 5, then to, and every tone it goes on, our thinking gets deeper into what's going on. Something's wrong. Something's not wrong. They're with somebody else. They do it, and you build up a whole scenario in your head before that phone gets answered. Now, if that phone does not get answered, I've seen a lot of guys fuming, to the point I've seen them beat up the phone like, and just crazy fuming because they can't get hold of somebody. And once they do get hold of that somebody, straight away arguments, straight away. Where was you? Da, 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 da. I've seen it. So it's like I was one of those people. I would phone my missus, and if she didn't pick up, I would be in my head, angry, aggressive. Da, da. Where was you? And then once I talked to her, where was you? Like, I was ringing you. I'm important. I'm da da da. So I kind of just tested it with that as well. Like I rang her, she didn't pick up. And I decided, like, I was going there in my head, where is she? And I decided, let me just not go there. Let me not go there. And even though those thoughts were popping into my head, I was trying not to grab it. I said, you know what? I will just wait. So I waited and I rang her. And it was something, I can't remember, it was something silly, like she was in the bath or she was doing something. And it was a bit hard. I accepted it, like, all right. And then we had a good conversation. So in my past experiments, it don't go like that. It just goes, okay, aggressive, hang up, aggressive. But I see that because I was grounded, it didn't stir nothing up. And the conversation felt good to me. But yeah, experimenting, I feel like is key. Because how else would you know? You couldn't listen to somebody and try something because one size doesn't fit all. You know, we're all different individuals using the same principles to operate. So we've all built up our different operating systems using the same method. But one doesn't fit all. Mama.
So I can see Mama J with her hand up, and I know we have a question from before, and we read it. We will read it. So what we'll open it up now for Mama J to say something. So you can unmute yourself now.
There we go.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, I'd love to tell a story about Wilson, if that's okay. It's true everything that Wilson says. He was he did have ants in his pants. He used to run around, and we used to have to track him down and stuff. And he was very resistant and argumentative, and he had lots of questions. Lots of questions. But what's really interesting is, so after he was released, we didn't hear from him for a while, and then maybe about a year, Wilson, he got in touch, and we were running groups in London. We used to meet the guys once a month, and some came and some didn't come, and whatever, but it was just open for anyone who wanted to come. And one day he said, can I come to group and bring my mom and my sister and my mom and my wife? my partner, who was pregnant at the time. And so Wilson turned up with his whole crew, you know, his whole family, and we're all sat, and we just used to have chats at those things. And it was a couple of hours, and then Wilson's mom said, oh, yeah, everyone keeps mentioning the 3 principles. What are they? And Wilson, who we thought had not listened to one thing, said, oh, draw it for you. And he got up, and there was we had a flip chart in the room and some pens and that. And he got up and he drew on the flip chart the river of thought. And he drew this river of thought, amazing river of thought. And he talked all the way through it, how, you know, we get thoughts and so on. And he drew these diagrams. And then he said, and what it is like, if you get a thought you don't like, chuck it back in the river. And I never heard that before. And I thought, wow, he really heard about the river of thought, and he made it his own. You know, chuck the thought back in the river, and he made it his own. I was so touched. And it really, I've always remembered it, because it really helped me to see you never know when you're having impact and what people are taking away, you know, and that he took that away. And when his mom asked the question, he could just so beautifully describe that. And in our program, he described it, and people never heard it so amazingly, had they? They were all like, wow, I've never heard the river of thought like that before. And I'm blown away by that.
Much appreciated. Didn't know you still remember that.
Yeah, you see what talking to resistant people can do. Thank you for that. We had a question from before from Kat, and she asked, how do you feel about the opposite, Omar? And we'll try to get back to what you were talking about. A lot of people look at the big, the end goal, and they miss the tiny little gold dust, the little gems. A balance, right? So I think she's talking to where you were referring about the just looking at the dust box and not seeing the wheelbarrow on the rest of the picture. And Kat, please unmute yourself if you want to. You have anything else to ask or?
So I was just gonna say, like, it's definitely I feel like there is a balance. There is a balance within the mind, but it comes back to, again, presence. Just being present. That is like the most effective and powerful tool I feel like I own. I feel like once I'm present, like right now I'm present, so I don't even know what I'm gonna say, but it just comes, if that makes sense. But if I was thinking about what I was gonna say, and then I'm trying to remember what I've already said, I feel like it takes the whole experience away from now. So it's like a lot of people have goals in life and ambitions, and they want to do this and they want to do that, and a lot of people strive towards them without being present. You know, they just, I gotta do this, gotta do that, and they strive through it without being present. But I see that being present allows you to enjoy that experience more, because a lot of people think that things should be a certain way. I feel like that swayed your experience. That is, so it's like, if you get to, it happened to me, I'm trying to think which one. It happened to me. Let's say we'd be on recovery. Wow, let's say we'd be on recovery. I thought this is gonna be a bunch of crap. It blew me away. It blew me away. I wish I came there open-hearted so it didn't blow me away so much, because I felt like an idiot after. Do you know what I mean? I felt like an idiot because I thought, what is this? But yeah, no, there has to be a balance within humans. There has to be a balance. But another thing I kind of see is that every single human is aiming for one thing, which is love and comfortability. And anything you can say is evolved around love. Do you know what I mean? Even comfortability, you want to see your family happy. Everybody, every single human wants just love and comfortability. And just that alone kind of lets me see the innocence in a lot of things. A lot of things, which I wasn't able to do before. I wasn't able to see the innocence of people. So even there's been I think there's been 2 murders this month in Forest Gate where I live. And these people are involved in gang violence and stuff. And I now see it as innocent because they believe a facade, they believe something, you know, it's a belief system. They believe in it. Who's anybody to tell them they're wrong? But I know that through maybe something I say or do, they might see another option, because that's all it's about, helping people to see something else. Because Peter said something the other day and it was so spectacular. It was, when we accept that we can never change somebody else's mind, never, we can never do it. We can never change anybody's mind. We may think we can, or people may say you've changed my, but we can never change anybody's mind. We're not in control of that. But we can help somebody to see something for themselves. And I feel like I've accepted that in a different way, because I no longer, and this is going to sound horrible. This is going to sound horrible, but I really don't mean it in a horrible way. I no longer care about what I'm saying after I've said it, if that makes sense, because I feel good while saying it. I know that I'm in a good place. I no longer care about impacting people. I just care about being in that good place, because I know being in this good place the energy will just, it's like being grounded. You'll feed off that. You'll see that I'm grounded. So I no longer base my talking or my life on trying to impact people, I would rather just help them see something. And that's exactly what Mama J did for me. She helped me see something. And one of my mates said the other day, just because you read this book, yeah, don't think you can come and tell me, yeah. And I was like, like, first of all, bro, I didn't read a book. And you don't give nothing to nobody. I was just shown something. I was like, look behind you. And I'm like, where? And I looked and I see it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You know what I mean? So it's just, yeah. It's just accepting that you can never change anybody's opinion. They can only see it for themselves. And I feel like with that acceptance, you begin to fall closer to yourself. You begin to get closer to yourself. You understand what you like, what makes you happy, and you no longer concern yourself with things that doesn't concern you. Simply like, does somebody like me? Let me be the first to say that doesn't concern you. It actually doesn't. Does somebody like me? That doesn't concern you. That's just a thought we have and we concern ourselves with. And then off of that thought comes a lot of other things. We change ourselves, we do this, we change the way we speak, and we get further away from ourselves. But I call it, there's a lot of things I call it. I'm trying not to swear now. I call it all about me syndrome. Let's call it that. All about me syndrome. Do you know what I mean? It's just me. And I know that a better me is a better me for everybody else. Do you know? A better me is a better me for this interview, for this call, for anybody else watching, do you know? And I feel like the more we get closer to ourselves, the more that mind piece is just available, literally.
Can see Rob clapping, and you have a lot of hearts here agreeing. Please do feel free to unmute yourself to ask a question or put your hand up.
Rob.
Rob. It is. Hi, Rob.
Hello. I've got so many stories going on in my head at the moment now, purely because of what Omar's been talking about. The first story that popped into my head for no apparent reason, and I'm trying to find the similarities, was being chased by 14 police officers. I was always, as a youngster, a very good runner, and I hung around in gangs and stuff like that. And the police got to know me, and they got to know me to the fact that they couldn't catch me. And you used to hear them, they turn around and just go, no, don't go after him. You won't get him, get the other one. So I'll be standing there, and it reminds me slightly about the wheelbarrow and the sawdust, because they focused concentration on going after someone else when I was right there. I hadn't moved, and I didn't have to move, because they'd all just go running past me. And if someone saw me and just went, right, I'm coming after you, I was gone. And then it carried on that way. They'd just turn around and just go, right, well, I won't go after him anymore. But the whole reminiscence of everything that's been said tonight, the biggest difference for me is the change in relationship with myself. And if I was able to go and talk to younger Rob of everything I knew now, younger Rob will probably be a bit different. But I'm glad I haven't, if that makes any sense, because now because when I listen to Omar and Derrick and everybody else, I'm like 25 years, 30 years down the line from everything they've experienced. So I can go back and go, but you can get this. This is what's available, because that's where I am. You're there, I'm there. That sort of thing. And that's where, when I've worked in prisons as well, that's what my approach has been. But it's changing the relationship and your thought patterns within yourself. That's your foundation. That's your starting point. And then you can build up from that. But yeah, I always listen. I always enjoy listening to Omar, I must admit.
Yeah, my friend.
Oh, I think we're gonna have that story about then stopping right after you, because like they stopped pursuing that because they just thought they had that thought already in their heads that they couldn't catch you.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. That applies to so many things. It's just
I wanted to bring it back to one thing that Wayne said, which really got to me, because it's like, from a young age, I was diagnosed with dyslexia and ADHD, which made me disabled. And I was getting that disability allowance every 2 weeks. I wouldn't tell nobody. I didn't tell anybody. I was scared of being labeled as disabled. Thinking me disabled? No, like I'm a sports guy, I'm active, and I thought I was a bit popular, and I'm like, disabled? No. And that was many, many years. And it's like, when I finally, that one day when I was in prison, right, and I was naughty and they took my TV, so I had nothing, and I'm just sitting in these four walls, and I got these books that Jacqueline's just given me. And before that, she gave me a book. I was like, yeah, cool. I'll rest on that. When I'm writing my papers, I'll rest on that. And she gave me one that was this thick as well. I said, what? Bloody hell. And that is intimidating. I'm telling you that. But that one day in my cell when they took my TV, I discovered the world. I was so excited. I wanted to run back to all my school teachers, say, yeah, look at that. Look, I taught myself to read and write. Do you get me? Because in that cell, I taught myself to read and write. I was going through the dictionary but up until that point, I would have told you that I'm a picture person. I like pictures, and I am. But I felt like that's because I built myself that way, like being a picture person. I love pictures and da, da, da. But that one day I discovered that that was not me. All those things I believed was not me. Look at me. I read the whole book. It was called The Modello, and it was a beautiful book. It was like I was looking at myself like, look at you, little nerd. Look at ya. Hey, Wilson's a nerd now, bro. Look at you, Wilson. I swear to you, because I didn't know how much I enjoyed reading the book. And then I'll get unlocked and I got to close the book and go out. And then when I get back to myself, I'm like, yeah, back to the book. I'm like, what? I would have never told you that was me. Do you know what I mean? Never said that was me. But I discovered that day that what I believed for so many years, that was rubbish. That was what I said it was. I gave it the power. Same way I took it away. But yeah, no, that's what I loved that you said. It just came back to me, Wayne.
It's incredible, and it's so freeing, so relieving. It's kind of like a weight's just been lifted off your shoulders, isn't it? It's just, and I remember that's exactly how I felt. And I remember when I had the insight, the more recent insight about the guilt, I remember, because I couldn't talk to you about it, could I, beforehand? Because I just could not put it into words. And I remember getting home and just sitting in the car and crying. And I remember sending you a voice message and basically saying, look, this is it. This is what I've just seen. And, you know, and I remember sending the same message to Dave Ellery as well, who we've had on the series. And from the message I got back from him, he was in tears as well. And it's just that. It's the fact that it's freeing. And I've always kind of said to you, haven't I, that I don't want to keep talking about my disability because it's not who I am. It's not the only part of me. But at the same time, it's a part of me that I can relate to. I can kind of start there and then move on from it.
Love that. I love that. It all starts up here. Yeah. And even another story like that, the magnificent Mama J, right? She there was a lady that used to come in prison before called Liliana, and she used to run. And Mama J was like, why do you run? What is it about running that you like? And she couldn't understand why this lady ran. Fast forward now. No, let's take it back. No, let's take it back again. Mama J's knees, yeah, she's got a problem with her knee. I'm not sure there's a problem. There's names to it, but I'm not sure the name. But she got a problem with her knee, and they told her some crazy surgery story. And despite all of that, now fast forward, she's running. Do you know what I mean? She ran and she done couch to 5K and she's run 10K, and now she says, I'm just gonna run a little 5K. And I look at her like, oh, a little 5K, yeah, just a little one, yeah. But she's running now, she's doing it. And for me, it's amazing. It's amazing because it's like, if she believed in this knee stuff and everything else, and no, she understood it was a mind frame thing, and wait, I can push through that. And she pushed through that, and she motivated all of us lot to run, and especially Derrick. Not sure if you're still running, Derrick, But sorry, I just had to tell him because he's a bit slackish right now. But but nah, she is just doing a wonderful thing right now with the running, because it's all a mind frame thing. Literally, it's a mind frame thing, and the more we see that, the more we're free to take on anything else in the world, anything else. Question time. Just for see Derrick. Sorry, Derrick, I had to call you out. I wanted to ask everybody a question though. You can answer it one by one or write it off. It's up to you. But maybe because this is a 3P community, that the answer might come out different. But I asked this to some kids, and one of them said something that was amazing, and I was like, what? But I wanted to ask everybody, what is all the same but different? Someone, anyone?
People.
I like that one. And you know what? That's what he said. He said humans.
Ah.
Love. And I told them the question has 100 answers, only 100. So even me, I'll say clouds. So they're like, oh yeah, clouds. But one of them, he's like, oh, humans. And for some reason, I was blown away because I just saw that wisdom is in everybody, every single human, whether or not we follow our minds or whether or not we're in situations or depression or whatever situation, everybody has wisdom in them, every single person. And it was just beautiful to see it shining. Just, I don't know why I saw it that way. But for him to just say humans, I was like, wow. That's just beautiful. The 3Ps is just existent from birth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that, because that's exactly why this is called How to Connect with Humans. Though we knew that all humans are connected, that that apparently sometimes we don't realize that we are. And really quickly before Paul goes, I would like to read his what he posted here, but going to have to leave shortly, but have found listening to Omar inspirational. We need more people like this to help inspire young people facing the similar challenges and choices that they did. In Nottingham, we have the Switch. I hope I read this properly. Switch Up CIC, founded by the similarly inspirational Marcellus Bass. Wonder whether Omar has met him, and so you haven't met him.
I haven't, but I'm writing that name down.
So we're writing that name. We're all writing that name.
I got it for you, Wilson.
Thank you, Mama. See, that's the mama right there, man.
That's the mama doing all the work.
That's the mama right there.
Please unmute yourself if you want to. And we know that Derrick is there waiting to have a little reply to your running, or I don't know what he's gonna say. But so Paul, if you want to, please unmute yourself. If not, that's fine. We'll pass it on to Mr. Derrick.
Hi, Carolina and Wayne. Omar and everyone. Sorry I couldn't be here from the beginning. I was on another meeting, so I caught basically half of what Omar said. But yeah, I love what you say, Omar, all the time, man. All the time. And like I said, me and you was been through this when we was in Onley together. I didn't really know you that well in Onley, but I just knew you was like always had a smile on your face, that jokey kind of guy. And yeah, but I knew you had that little edge to you as well. But at the time, I didn't know that Beyond Recovery had kind of softened that edge. But yeah, you was always that smiley guy. And I remember the first time when we met at the academy meeting in Victoria, and you were saying a lot of things about what your relationship with your missus had been like and what your experience had been like since you'd come out. And you just mirrored my whole experience. I had said exactly what you had said to other people like a few months earlier. So that's when I knew that the connection is just real, because your missus and my missus don't know each other. But yet the things they were saying and what they were coming back and what we were living was like exactly the same. And that's when I saw something in you, like, yeah, this guy, he's seeing it and he's accepting it, and he's rolling with it. And from that, like I said, we went to Nottingham, done the knife crime program with, you came in on one of the sessions, and like I said, you blew man away. So yeah, just love to hear you share, Wilson, and always see things when you talk. It's just proper fresh in the moment. And to pick up on one of the things that you said about like the reading, and now you're a nerd, there's some things that if you tell us beforehand, we wouldn't do it. If you say, you know, Wilson, you're going to learn to read a book, and see that big book with chapters, yeah, you're going to be reading it and reviewing it. You'd be like, I don't know, I don't do that. But when you embark on that journey and the feeling that comes with it, you know the rule book says that you're now a nerd, but the feeling says, I don't care. The feeling says, this is right for me, not the image of the person who thinks that that's a nerdy thing to do. If it feels good for me, then I'm just going to carry on doing it. And I think that's what runs through all of the things. That's been a key thing on most of my journey, is doing things that if you would have told me beforehand, I wouldn't have been interested. But when I start and then a feeling comes with it, then you just have to carry on. So certain things, what you believe about yourself, you shouldn't believe about yourself. You just believe about what you feel in the moment. And what you feel in the moment is yeah, if you're in the present and what you feel in the moment, then that's true to you at the moment. And that's what I see a lot when you talk as well. You just talk it from what's true for you. And somehow that brings up the oneness again. Somehow when you talk for what's true for in you, other people see it from all different walks of life. And that just reinforces the oneness, and what you're saying is coming from the right place. And yeah, got mad respect and love for you, my brother.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate that. The first time I actually met Derrick, yeah, I gave him my single cell because I was moving out in it. I was moving out into a double cell. You know, he was like, "Oh yeah, let me get a single." I was like, "Yeah." That. But yeah, now working with Derrick's been a blessing, man. Working with Derrick's been a blessing, and it's been life changing as well, because he's actually. I've never really grown up with a lot of people my age. All my friends are like mostly older, and I've got a couple of friends my age, but most of my friends are all older. So even seeing Derrick and just seeing how he's come through things and the choices and how he's changed and thinks about things, it just allows me to know that it's possible, if that makes sense. Because when I chat to certain people, I think, oh, can't save you. I chat to someone else, I'm like, can't save you. But it's just that mind frame thinking. I know it's possible. I block myself sometimes because of maybe someone might say something and I think about it differently. But I know that through Derrick, it's just proper. Like, age is just a number. It don't matter. You can see something anytime, any age.
Just to respond to that, Wilson, that's what you showed me as well, with your age and what things you say and knowledge, what you got, what you probably thought you didn't have, but it's coming from somewhere. Because I know 4 or 5, 3 years ago, you never used to speak like this. So where's that coming from? And you haven't, and like you said about your friend, what you've been reading books. You ain't read no books to get to talk what you know, because it's been in you all the time. And that what doesn't matter what age you are, where you come from. Like I said, there's something to be heard in everything. You just got to stay curious and stay listening. Like what you said before, like how Mama J has shown us. And I have to keep on refraining myself, because words are very easy things to get trapped in. Because before I would have said, yeah, just like how Mama J taught us. But that word there, taught, she hasn't taught us anything. Like you said, she just shown us to look in a certain direction within ourselves, and everything else happens from there. But it takes somebody to point you in that direction. And like I said, Mama J, you always have to get a mention out of my mouth. So yeah, it all stems from you and the love you showed coming in to a place like where we were, and being able to show us ours and let us use ours and move forward with that. So yeah, it's been a beautiful journey, beautiful journey. And to think that beautiful journey started in such a horrible place. Yeah, but that it shows anything's possible. Love flourishes anywhere. Just like that time when we was outside Mama J's, Wilson, and we saw the flowers or the plants growing on the doormat. Yeah, love flourishes anywhere, anywhere.
I love that.
We love you, Derrick. Oh,
Love you all too. Love
oh,
you all
love
too.
you. Oh, one of the things that you were saying, and I was thinking, you know, when talking about, you know, Omar, you were saying like you had been probably rightly diagnosed with something that was you didn't make it up. That's what I'm trying to say. That's not what we're not. We're trying to, you know, because many people will watch the video later, and so it's not that people are diagnosed with these kind of things are making it up in the same way that Wayne is not making it up having cerebral palsy. So, but what we have learned through this understanding, and what Mama J, so Jacqueline came in and offered, was that we are so much more than what we think we are. We are capable of so much more than when we think we are limited by our circumstances, or a condition, or a health problem, or the place you're in. So we're so much more, and so much more that we don't even know what we're capable of. We know that in a way there's, you know, as Mama Jade didn't come as a witch. We're not witches. We're not, you know, we're not. This is, let's get that clear. So, but you know, it's not like, you know, suddenly because you have this understanding, you may just stand up and walk unaided tomorrow. Or, but what we don't know, and this open up the possibilities, what you could actually achieve that before you were told you couldn't, or you wouldn't even think about doing, because, well, this is what I've been told is how it is. And that one day Wayne will walk with one stick, no sticks, I don't know, monkey bars, or I don't know, but you know, that's just for us to see. And I think, as you Wilson say, it, you know, you had to teach yourself to read and write. It was your own experiment of how, and probably it, I don't know if how easy or how difficult it was, but that you weren't scared of you were curious, and you were happy to put your belief that you weren't able to read to the side and experience, like if you give a kid a new toy or something new and they're just curious.
That's right.
They're just starting from the beginning, just sounding things and going, you know, just playing with it, just playing with it. And so I just wanted to clarify that. The worst, what we're pointing at is not that like this is some miracle church, you know, there's not. Is that we are pointing at humans are capable of way more than what we think we can.
And just to add to that, I think for me, when I was younger, I was always told that I wouldn't be able to do this, I wouldn't be able to do that. And without this understanding, I believed it. When I had this understanding, or when I started with this understanding, it wasn't that, like you said, I could walk. It was more the kind of the possibilities of it, of being able to to walk with one stick, or to do this, or like with Jacqueline, she's running. And as I said to Jacqueline on one of her posts on Facebook, she inspires me to just, even if it's just to walk around the car. I mean, the weather at the moment hasn't been great, but before, in the first lockdown, I was kind of walking up to the end of the road and back, because, I don't use my legs that much. And when I do, I just get tired. So, little bits and everything, but it's that. It's having the possibility of doing it.
I like that.
I think that's the key, and that's the hope, and that's the possibility. Just because what you say there resembles with me with my first insight, when I realized that I didn't have to commit crime. I was like, obviously I don't have to commit crime. I'm not a robot that's been programmed to have to commit crime, but I know that. But then when I felt the possibilities that I just didn't have to, if I wanted to, I could, but if I didn't, just that alone was a big relief to me, to actually feel that and know there's other possibilities out there. And everything else became a possibility. As job titles go, I got one job title, that was being a drug dealer selling drugs. So every other job title that hasn't got that in its name was open to me. Yeah, legal or non-legal, but all of them were open to me. That possibility gave me hope, and that is love for myself and for my future, or for my present, for being in the present and bringing that into the future.
I think it also takes the weight off you that you have to kind of conform to, oh, I've got a disability, I can't do this. I remember being in the car with you and your daughter once, and she turned around and said, I think we were going to a movie, like a drive-in movie, and basically she turned around and said, so with your disabled badge, do we get to get special treatment? And I just laughed.
My daughter,
yeah. And I just laughed, because it was one of those things, and I was just, and I don't, that kind of thing, I don't care. I'm one of these people that can have a laugh and take the mick out of myself. And for me, it's so freeing that she can too, and I love it. It's the fact that it's, for me, it's the possibility of not having to conform. Like, oh, I've got disability, I'm not restricted, but at the same time, I can try things. I'm not put in a box. I'm not put in a corner because of my disability. Whereas before, I felt I was.
And that's the thing, that you can only put yourself in that box. Everybody else can put you in that box, but whether you believe you're in that box is the key, because you can be out of that box and then that's it. I'm not in that box. And that's what matters, where you think you are, inside that box or outside that box. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's that this equal relationship between where there's no age, no gender, no color, no you don't care how educated one person is or not, or they've been in prison or not, or doesn't matter. I mean, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in terms of how we connect. It's not, it's just an age difference. If we're all respectful of the other person, like there's no ranking in, you're here, I'm here, or you're here, I'm here. That's what creates conflict, right?
Sorry, that just got me, because when I was younger, I always felt that with my brother and my sister. Like, oh, that they had more attention than me, or, I was pushed to one side, or they're better than me because they haven't got disability. And it was just, yeah, that there is no kind of, oh, they're better than me because. It's just, yeah, it's all made up.
I know Wills has a very special thing for us. So well, he gets ready. Do you remember how to do that?
Yes.
Okay. So well, you get that ready. If you give us a second, because the love here is real, let's say. And Chris is with us, and I don't know, Chris, if you can unmute yourself, because you may not be able to.
I've been in and out. Sorry, but it's been in and out. But Omar, love.
Nah, bro, you love. Congratulations,
listen,
bro.
That's what I was gonna say. Congratulations, Chris.
Daddy.
If you didn't know, Chris had a
Thank you
little
very much.
birthday.
Who's
Pardon?
the daddy?
Who's the daddy?
Love people, love.
Who's the man?
Love. I'm just listening. Love everyone, but the journey's been wonderful, and may the journey continue. May the journey continue. Love you, Mama J. Love you, Omar. Love you,
Christopher.
Derrick. Love all of you. Love you, Wayne. Love you, Colleen. Literally, love all of you. Thank you very much.
Love, bro.
Oh, we love you so much. For people that don't know what all this is about, so, Chris, was it today that you and your missus have your baby?
Yeah, but there's never no buts. I wasn't there, but I was there, innit? You know what I mean? Because of the situation we're going through right now, the lockdown situations, the guards that we have got up, that I couldn't be present with her for the birth. So that was kind of, yeah, on her part, not having someone to help her through that, it was not nice. But I was there, if you get what I'm trying to say. It's been tough through these couple of days, but yeah, it came today. She's well and well. I won't be able to see them for the next 3 days. They're gonna have to be in the hospital for. Yeah. It's all good. It's all love. You know what I mean? It's just having that compassion and being present. And I was present when, like how Omar was saying, just when Mama J pointed you in that direction, you was present and you saw, and it gave you compassion when you jumped on the phone, because I had that a lot when I used to get on the phone, and my thoughts go racing. My thoughts actually go racing and thinking what's going on, and then you feel like, I'm not the only one that's living. They still got a life to live, and you're forgetting that you put yourself in that position in the first place. So why is your mind going racing of thinking what they're doing, or how come she's not answering her phone? You put yourself in that position. So yeah, so thank you for just bringing me to have compassion, and knowing innocence. Before I didn't know innocence, that word innocence, what do you mean by innocence? Well, I'm innocent until proven guilty. That's the only innocence I knew. But actually seeing the innocence in certain things, that's kind of new for me, because I've seen it happening in the weirdest of occasions. And yeah, we did have a talk, Mama J, not properly yet, but we did have a talk. So just saying innocence, and the key is love. The key is love, and there's only one true feeling, and that feeling is love, and you can't escape it, you can't deny it. It's there. And this is a chance for us to connect as humans. Like when we do see each other face to face, we're actually the missing colors of the rainbow. That's literally it. You know what I mean? We're part of this world, and yeah, it was beautiful not seeing like the young generation already seeing a bit of wisdom, and it's all fun for them. It's all fun, and he's having fun. For him to even say human, he probably heard something like that from the Avengers, because we are the Avengers, right in the flesh, people. So yeah, man, just let 21 be a prosperous year for everyone, and more love and more wisdom.
Love that.
Well, this is what superheroes do, like
100%.
the real superheroes. We were just getting ready for this episode, and then Chris sent us a picture of his lovely newborn. And to put this in context for when you don't know what we're talking about, we are in the third lockdown here in the UK for COVID-19. So it's January 2021, and so the experience of having a baby that Christopher is describing is not what we're used to, and they're distancing and not being able to be there, and this waiting, and the amazing role that this play for somebody being there, full of love, being compassionate and patient, and also sending us messages saying, sorry, I'm going to try to be in the call, but, you know, I just had a baby. It's like, you know, we would all say, like, Chris, don't worry, just you do your thing. And don't worry about us. But no, Chris is here. And he's here because also he wants to support, you know, Wilson and us and the whole love and family and connection. So that's why I really, really wanted to hear from you, and thank you so much. And we are all in this. We're all in this together.
Big hugs all around.
Big hugs all around.
It is.
I feel very grateful to be here because a lot of near-death experiences. So I just really want to thank Mama J. I want to thank you guys for having me on here today, and I want to thank everybody for listening. And good night from me.
That's absolutely amazing. And the people that are watching the video won't have that recording, but as soon as it's released, we'll put the link so people can access it. And oh my gosh,
I've got no words.
Just love.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for being here. We can't thank you enough. And because we really love listening to you. We're gonna have you back. We can imagine, you know, this series, to be honest, without without the Beyond Recovery and the Beyond Truth family. And thank you everybody for being here. And before you go, how can people find you or talk to you or connect with you? Also, we're gonna make available the link to Beyond Recovery. But you're running also another thing with the guys. So if you want to tell us a little bit before you go.
So I have become the director of Beyond Recovery, and we also own our own business called Beyond Truth, which specializes in more community support. And to find us is at Facebook, Beyond Truth 5 or Beyond Recovery. We also have a YouTube page, which is Beyond TV. Working on getting that a bit updated, but there's content on there. And yeah, we got a course going on as well. So if anybody's interested, hit us up on one of those pages and go from there.
So how can people get information about the course? Is that on the Beyond?
My email is omar@beyondrecovery.co.uk. So just email me and we'll go from there.
We'll go from there. It's awesome. Thank you again. You're a total star. We love you so much.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Lisa, if you have many people clapping, and there's so many hearts in here. It's just
family, man. I love all of you guys.
A sea of hearts. Next week, it's going to be on Monday, and I know it clashes with the Beyond Recovery Entrepreneurs, but we're really sorry because our guest could only do the Monday. We're going to have Dave Hill. So we're going to have David Hill 7:30. So maybe by the end of it, you can guys come in into the call. And he's actually coming back, and he's going to talk about
comfort in not knowing.
So comfort in not knowing, which I think applies to all of us at any time, but probably more at these times. So we'll see you on Monday, and but also please go and be with the guys at Beyond Recovery Entrepreneurs, because they do their Zoom on Mondays. So thank you so much. Please let us know if there's something from these that you don't want to be in the video. We know that we already didn't record your audio, so that's not there. And we'll see you soon. Thank you so much for being here. Please mute yourselves if you want to. And
thanks for coming.
So much.
Thanks, guys. Cheers, bro. Loved it.
Take care.
See you all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.